In a previous video, I said I want to get myself a Titan this year, and by this year, I meant actually a very short time frame. So I'm starting a series about getting exactly that Titan, and I'm here gonna explain my plan, my hopes, and my dreams, and how to actually achieve that in a hopefully not too long video, and also show you my current progress because I've actually been already doing it a bit, and I kinda don't wanna go ahead and talk too much here, so let's go ahead and get right into it. But playing EVE alone sucks. So if you want to take part in an awesome community, fly fun ships, make some dank ISK, and have genuinely a good time with constantly people around you to hang out with, so come and join Suspect today and fight under the banner of our great supreme leader, me. So come and join our Discord today. Anyway, on with the video. You know what? The title of this video is actually very wrong, because this series is actually not about getting a Titan, but more about taking you on a journey on how to actually get the ability to get such a Titan, as getting the ability to make that much ISK in a reasonable time frame is far more important than the ship itself, and also the thing that really matters here, because once I can actually make a Titan over, like, let's say a month, I can also use it to do other things, smart things. Because getting a Titan is actually not the most useful thing. I could be starting a proper industry setup or build whole fleets, or what I know, I don't know a lot. But there's smarter things to do. Anyways, this is not what matters, because let's go back to the center point of the question. How do we get a Titan? Well, getting a Titan is simple. We buy one, because building one is A, a pain, B, might end up being more expensive than buying one. Titans used to be a lot cheaper than they are now, and that is kinda why building one may not be worth it at all. So buying one is already set in stone here, and we are not building one. If you look at the list it takes to build one, I'm not doing this to myself, I'm not enduring that kind of pain. Then just leaves us with one thing, a bill of slightly over 200 billion ISK, which is a very big number. I got ISK, we got ISK, but I don't want to spend that amount of ISK, because once I spend it, it's gonna be gone, and I'm gonna be broke. Maybe not broke, but let's just say I have reserves that I would prefer to not touch if I could avoid touching them. So instead, we're going to focus on being able to raise that amount of ISK within just a single month consistently, without spending a crazy amount of time. That is a colossal goal, and it will most likely still be a crazy amount of time that we are spending on it, but surely not as much as, let's say, flying an Ishtar or single Marauder. Because this is the thing here. We need something that is scalable. And this is the thing here, we cannot take an activity like, let's say, tier 6 Abyss running, tier 5 Abyss running, mission running, burners and so on, as well. Those are scalable to a certain degree. None of them except maybe triple boxing tier 6 Abyss, which is like super hard, and I would need to spend a lot of time to even learn it in the first place, because I would die terribly. They simply aren't scalable to a degree to which I need them to be scalable to make reliably 200 billion in a time frame of 30 days, unless I'm spending my whole day just doing that. 30 days is a small time frame, so we need to do something silly. Something silly that we can scale to the moon and be able to make more than 1 billion ISK per hour, which is a terribly big number to make in a single hour. And what is the most silly thing we can do that may also be the most boring thing to do, but the most scalable activity apart from industry and station trading? You already know it, it's mining. Mining itself doesn't make a lot. A single Hulk will only make about 40 million per hour on Arcanor or R32 rocks. That is not a lot. However, once you add an Oracle to boost that Hulk will make almost 120 million per hour mining. Once you add in 4 more Hulks, that number goes up significantly already to 600 million per hour, plus whatever the Oracle is making, totaling about 720 million per hour. Really not a bad number. I may have made it entirely up, but that is kinda what I'm pointing at. That is kinda the income we're looking at. And from there, we can keep scaling until infinity. With anomalies respawning every 4 hours. At least that is what I thought. I started my grind on Thursday, last week, and kinda kept track of what I was making that first week. Originally, I started with 3 Hulks and a Oracle for the first few days, but scaled it up over the course of the week to 2 more Covetors, which should be switching to Hulks within the next 2 weeks or sooner, depending on if I use skill injectors or not. Skill injectors are kinda a big question here, because skill injectors are expensive, they cost ISK, and I kinda don't want to spend that money, but considering the amount of time I'm spending anyway to get a Titan, I may kinda just get the skill injectors, because in the time it will take me about less than 100 hours to make back the difference of spending the skill injectors or not, with just the difference I'm getting from the upgrade to a Hulk. And at that point, I'm either way spending about 200 hours with that kind of setup to get a Titan. But anyway, I went mining and got a bonus spawn. It is called an officer spawn. Yep, I went mining and got an officer spawn. Now my entire corporation hates me, but I'm 6 billion ISK richer in purple super rare modules. And everybody's gonna question how I even got it in the first place. Anyway, turns out you get officer spawns if you go mining. Not a bad start at all, actually. But I'm gonna actually go over to a bit of the numbers and then just keep talking about it. All in all, in the first week we made about 9.33 billion from mining, 1.25 billion from crab beacons, which I ran with my super carrier, and 6 billion from the single officer drop. I also liquidated actually 13.5 billion in items that I had previously stockpiled. I listed it here to list everything because I also spent 2 billion is on getting those other 2 accounts ready. So while the last part is kinda zero-sum game, I still listed it here just for the completionist purposes. But all in all, the first week, or more 4 days, made me 18.08 billion profit, using a grand total of 6 accounts. It's quite a number, but not that crazy much. So 6 accounts is quite expensive, but I had them already, so I might as well do it, and that is also one of the reasons why I went into mining. Because most of this comes just from mining itself, but the accounts there are kinda a hurdle. And mining away normally is making ISK, but not enough to plex them, but I had the accounts anyway, so I may as well do that. And I also decided to go ahead and join one of those famous Goonstorm Locust fleets, because I'm also in Goonstorm, so may as well take advantage of that, of which I have no footage, because guess what? Because the amount of barges simply was too much, and one account on max graphics might have been a big mistake, as well as 6 accounts being opened, which literally basically melted my PC. To comment on Locust fleet, it was okay, well organized, FC was nice, but firstly I didn't beforehand apply my Rockle, so keep having to stockpile in my own rock by warping off and warping back after filling up the hulks was kinda pain. People suggested to me to not use hulks, and I did it anyway, but that is a smaller issue. Because you know what really is an issue apart from my PC catching fire and it being a pain to just organize that whole thing? Well, I live in Central Europe. When Locust fleet started, it already was late because it seemingly is time for a yes time zone. And let's just say, I woke up in the middle of the night with my Rockle sitting randomly in an NPC Delve system, just sitting there next to an Athanor in the middle of space because I managed to fall asleep because it was 4 AM. 4 AM is a bit late, and at that point I made a bit of ISK, but I simply went back home at that point because I kinda didn't feel like staying for the entire fleet. I think it ended shortly after, but it kinda was too much at that point. So, would I rejoin a Locust fleet if I had the choice again? Well, yes, it was very safe and it was kinda nice income, but it's late. It's just late for me. I'm not sure if I will. But hey, I just want to say hi to the Locust fleet people because I kinda went there and I didn't record it, but I wanted to say hi anyway, and yeah, I guess it was nice talking to people, but my PC was catching fire, so that's that. But to summarize my goals for the next week. First, find out how much money I actually make per hour by recording it once in a while and just keeping track of it. Second, find out other ways to expand my income. And third, hit a weekly income of 30 billion ISK net positive in just that week. And sure, all those numbers are still kinda nowhere close to Titan, but it is significantly more, and just one step closer to my overall goal of making 200 billion ISK in a single month, which is a big number, but that is that. Anyway, mining is right now the main way I make ISK for this project, but my goal for the next week is to drive that 18 billion number significantly up. And if you got tips for that, feel free to put them in the comments. I'm kinda happy about some tips here. And if you're in Goons or PH or really anywhere, how much ISK do you make and how do you do it? I'm just curious about it. That is kinda all I wanted to ask here, and I'm gonna keep this to a weekly updates and just see if I hopefully don't go insane while doing this, and also keep you updated and to keep Bistot mining, I guess. But this is all, and thank you for watching, and thank you to my awesome Patreon supporters for keeping me going. And I hope to see you guys next time. See you!